Croeso I bysgota Cymru. Welcome to Fishing in Wales.
We're on the River Conway here at Llanrwst. The River Conway is it's a beautiful river, about 30 miles from the source up at Llyn Conway to the sea. So Llanrwst, where we are here now, is probably about halfway. We're about 15 miles from the source, and it's about 50 miles again down to sea from here. A beautiful part of the sort of middle Conway. The nature of the river changes quite a lot as you go down. Sort of the upper part is really made up of 3 rivers: the Conway, the Llyn, and the Lledr. They all join at Betws. So those upper bits are sort of, cascading, gorgy, all fishable, all with good fishing, but not really fly fishing water. Then it gets down to Betws, the river gets much bigger and it widens, and it's probably at its widest here in Llanrwst. So good water for double-handed salmon fishing, good for night fishing for sea trout as well, and not too far from the sea, as I say, 15 miles. So the lower part of the beat at Llanrwst here gets a tidal effect. The tide comes right up to the bottom part of our beat. The Conway is mainly a salmon and sea trout river. It's famed for sort of big suing over the years, but it gets decent numbers of salmon as well each year. Its numbers have, like many rivers, numbers have gone down, but I think it's still holding its own. So salmon tend to start coming into the river in small numbers in March, and so then steadily increase. You get a good chance of a fish in May. The upper part of the river probably more for salmon, because those early fish go straight to the top of the system. The middle part in Llanrwst probably fishes better from June onwards, so now is a good time. July is a good time. Sea trout, the suing come in. They come in May, but really it's sort of mid-June when they start coming in any numbers, and they just keep building up. July, August, good months for suing. Increasingly getting to be good back end suing. September is still a good month for the suing as well. Water heights, it's a spate river, so you need to you're looking at over 1 metre on the gauge, on the Cwm Llanrwst gauge above Llanrwst here. It needs to be above 1 metre really to have a good chance. Ideally 1.3 to 1.6 is good. For the suing, you can get them in low water. I've seen them running on whetstones on this river. So if you go at night fishing, which is how people tend to target the suing, you can get them really summer levels. You'll get into the fish. There's some brown trout in here as well. Not many fish it for brown trout, but there's some decent numbers and some good sized brown trout as well. As you can see behind me, that it's a decent flow to the water today. It's about 1.3 I think on the gauge now, so good water. So you're a good omen today. I came out for a cast before doing this video today, and had a nice £7 suing on the double hander, which was lovely. Gave a good account of itself. Sort of flipped out the air about 3 or 4 times during the fight, so that's satisfying. So yeah, it's a good height today. The club also have a lake, Llyn Bodgynydd Mawr, which is it's got some wild brown trout, but the club stock it with rainbow trout as well. We put about 1,000 or so rainbow trout in at the start of this year. It's a beautiful lake. Usually get a bit of peace and quiet up there. The main reason we stock the lake is really to get junior members going. It's a big part of the club's sort of philosophy to try and grow the junior side of the club. Obviously it's hard to get a bend in the rod regularly if you're targeting salmon and sea trout. So Llyn Bod gives you a good chance of catching a trout. So that's the main reason we've got it. It's a nice place up there. Llanrwst Anglers, the club itself was formed in 1933, so we're quite an old club, into our 90s now, not a million miles away from the century. So a lot of history, obviously a lot of history of big fish over the years and some big characters as well in the club. It's been through sort of fragile times over the past 10 years, but at the moment it's doing well. There's a really committed committee of members there, and membership numbers are strong as well. The club's sort of ethos is to make it accessible to local people, keep it reasonable value, encourage junior members, and that's reflected in the membership at the moment really, which is good to see. So the club's in a relatively healthy state. We also have a sort of strong attitude towards conservation and sustainability. We were sort of catch and release on salmon before even the regulators NRW were, and we've done similarly for this season. We've gone fully catch and release on the suin as well, which was voted in at the AGM last year. So very conservation minded. We've done a lot of tree planting, especially where banks are eroding and that sort of thing. So yeah, it's a club that really is looking towards the future of the river really. The way to get fishing on this river is it's quite easy. It's all online these days, so you can get day tickets and season tickets on the Llanrwst Anglers website. Prices are, we keep them really low. The club supports local membership. It's a big part of the ethos of this club, so season tickets for locals, for people in the Llanrwst area, is about £50. For people outside the area, it's still very cheap, I think at £130. In terms of gear, if you're going for salmon, I would recommend a double hander. The river is fairly wide in most of the middle part of the river here at least, so I'd recommend a 13-foot rod. In big water, even a 14-foot rod can be useful. 12-foot as well in sort of slightly low water is fine. If you're targeting the suin, I would say probably a 10-foot 7-weight is ideal for that sort of thing. If you want to come down and enjoy this fabulous part of the River Conway, then you'd be very welcome. Get on the Llanrwst Anglers website where tickets can be bought. It's a really accessible river. You can park up in the town or in one of the near lay-bys, and it's all easily accessible, relatively easy wading. So I'd say, yeah, it's a good river to get easy access onto.
Discover fishing in Wales.